The sun burned low over the horizon, painting the endless stretch of highway in a tired orange glow. The air was heavy with the hum of engines and the smell of exhaust, but near the faded green sign that read Exit 42, a small shape sat motionless in the weeds. It was a dog, thin, dirty, trembling, but her eyes, wide and searching, never left the road. Every car that passed made her ears perk, her tail twitch with desperate hope. Each time tires slowed near the exit, she stood, ready to run, believing maybe this was the moment her person would return. But the cars always sped past, and the hope in her chest fell back into the same quiet ache. Her name was Luna, once whispered by someone who promised forever. The memory was blurry now, but she still remembered the way his hand felt when it scratched behind her ears, the laughter in the car, the sound of the door slamming shut. Then came the sharp sting of confusion when he didn't come back. He had told her to stay, and so she did. For 3 long days and nights, she waited in the same spot, surrounded by wrappers, bottles, and dust. The roar of traffic became her lullaby, and the cool wind of passing cars brushed against her fur like ghosts of what used to be home. Truckers who noticed her thought she was a stray. Some honked. Some threw bits of food from windows. Others just looked away. The world moved fast on the highway, too fast for broken things. But Luna didn't move. Every sound, a slowing engine, a familiar tone in the distance, made her heart leap again. Her body weakened, but her spirit refused to give up. One afternoon, as clouds gathered and rain started to fall, she limped toward the sound of a pickup pulling over. The door creaked, and a man stepped out wearing a soaked denim jacket and a face tired from years on the road. He crouched down, calling softly, "Hey there, girl!" Luna froze. She had learned not to trust too easily, but his voice was calm, different from the noise of the world around her. He tossed a piece of jerky to the ground and waited. The smell was too much to resist. It took 20 long minutes before she finally stepped close enough to let him touch her fur. The moment his hand brushed her back, her legs gave out, not from fear, but from exhaustion. He scooped her up, placing her carefully inside his truck. For the first time in weeks, she closed her eyes without listening for footsteps that would never come. He drove to the next town, talking to her as though she could understand every word. "You're a tough one," he said. "Bet you've been through hell." He pulled into a small gas station, grabbed a blanket, and wrapped her in it. When she opened her eyes, she saw her reflection in the truck mirror, muddy, ribs showing, but alive. He took her to a rescue shelter nearby. The volunteers rushed to help, drying her off and feeding her soft food. One of them, a young woman named Mia, knelt and whispered, "You're safe now, sweet girl." Luna looked at her, confused but comforted by the gentleness she'd almost forgotten existed. Days passed. Her fur grew softer, her body stronger. Yet every time she heard the rumble of a car outside the shelter gate, she lifted her head, ears alert, eyes bright with that same small flame of hope. Old habits die hard, especially for hearts that once loved deeply. One evening, Mia sat beside her kennel, scrolling through her phone and sighed. "You know," she said softly, "people drive by dogs like you every day and think someone else will stop. But it's always the ones who care that change everything." Luna rested her head on Mia's knee as if to say thank you, even if her voice couldn't. Weeks turned into months. Luna became one of the shelter's longest residents. Families came and went, choosing younger, prettier, or smaller dogs. But Luna's eyes always followed them to the door, not in jealousy, but in quiet, aching hope. Then, one Saturday morning, a family walked in, a mother, father, and a little boy holding a blue leash. The boy's sneakers squeaked as he ran down the rows of kennels until he stopped in front of Luna. "Mom, this one's smiling," he said. Luna's tail thumped weakly against the floor. They took her outside to the play area. The boy threw a ball. She didn't chase it at first. She hadn't played in so long. But when he laughed, a sound so much like the laughter she remembered from before, she took off running. Her paws hit the grass, and for a moment it felt like flying. The family watched her with wide smiles. When they knelt to pet her, she pressed her head into their hands and closed her eyes. It was as if she was saying, "I've been waiting for you." The paperwork took less than an hour. Mia stood at the gate, tears in her eyes, as Luna climbed into the family's car. The boy whispered, "You're coming home now, girl." As they drove away, she looked out the window at the open road she once feared. The highway stretched out endlessly ahead, but this time she wasn't waiting by it. She was on it, finally moving forward. That night, as she lay on a soft blanket in her new home, her body relaxed in a way it never had before. Outside, rain pattered softly against the window, but she wasn't alone. She turned once in her sleep, sighing, her tail twitching. Maybe in her dreams, she still heard the hum of the highway. But now it was just background music to a story that finally found its ending. And somewhere, miles away, another dog sat by another exit, still waiting. The world kept moving, cars rushing by, headlights cutting through the dark. But maybe, just maybe, someone would stop this time. Because every dog like Luna deserves that one person who won't drive past, who will see the hope in tired eyes, and realize it's not too late to turn around.